What's good, my idol monglers? Today, I have a very special video for you. We are going to be ranking every single manga that I have completed. Now, what does this mean? I think it's pretty obvious. I have to have read the entire thing. It has to be completed. It has to be done. No hiatuses. Like, if I read all of Vagabond, doesn't count. If I read all of, PTSD Radio, doesn't count. I haven't, but those do not count because they're PTSD Radio does count because I don't think that author is going back to that stuff when the stuff he was making in the manga literally happened to him in real life. I wouldn't go back to that. So I think that's basically done. But Vagabond, that one, it'll probably continue eventually. So that one, I'm like, even if I finish it, I'm not going to include it in this. It has to be completed. I have to have read it. Before we start, though, I do want to say I did make a community post. I'm filming this Tuesday night. I just got home. I'm very tired, but I'm going to finish this video. This should come out on Wednesday. What was I going to say? Okay. I made a community post that was like, hey, I'm kind of running out of manga, like, video ideas, because I've only really done, like, my basic kind of videos, and I've been trying to upload every other day. I'm trying to upload Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Those are the goals. And I'm kind of running out of ideas, and you guys gave me some ideas, and I'm very thankful for that. If you want to give me any more ideas down below, please, I'll take them and I'll do them. Yeah. I think we just get started here. This was crazy going through this because, I love a lot of these manga, but to start off, there's not a manga I very much like. It is Blackard. You guys probably know. Well, actually, maybe not. I haven't talked about this manga in a while. It has been crazy looking back on all these manga and being like, holy shit, like, these are like eras and like not decades, but like eras of my channel. Don't go back to my older videos, but like eras of my channel, like different moments and different periods of times when I was making videos. I went through like 3 different stages of a manga room. Actually 4, but one of them was off camera when I was collecting without each channel. And Blackguard was like last manga room, not this manga room, the smaller one that was very crepid. This was like my most hated manga, and now it's Mysterious Girlfriend X. So, good for that one. And Link Click. All right, what about Blackguard? It's just boring. Honestly, the art, just not very good. Story, just super basic. I just don't care. Characters, boring. Like, plot, boring. World building, whatever. Like, there are a couple moments in this manga that I think are really well done. And I do think the romance is, like, pretty decent. Like, I think the romance between, like, the 2 main characters is kind of cute. But, oh my goodness, is this manga just so boring. It doesn't offer, like, anything to you as a reader. It's like if a waiter brought out, like, the worst fucking tray of all time. Like, legit, like, the worst platter of all time. Not food, just the tray. And then you're like, there's got to be something good under here. Like, they brought the worst shit of all time, but, like, there's got to be something under it that's, like, magnificent. And you open it, and it's the same fucking quality as the fucking tray. It legit, like, I don't even understand why this was printed in English. Like, there's so many other manga that could have been printed in English that I thought, could have been a lot better. Obviously, there's a long manga like Kingdom, Hajime no Ippo, Usugoi. Those manga that are, like, apparently incredibly good but are never going to get printed. Why did this one get printed? I will never know. And it's just not good. I don't really like it. Next, I have a manga that I'm just going to get into it. I have nothing really to say about this one. It's Ayashimon. I enjoyed this one to an extent. I also think this one is pretty boring, but I do think, like, the art is very good, the dialogue is very good, the fights are pretty good. Like, I do like the idea of it, and I think the world building is decent. It definitely got cut off way too short, and I actually think the ending was pretty endearing, even though it got canceled. But, obviously, story didn't get to finish. It should have gone on for, maybe a couple more volumes, and then you can pull the plug, but it just wasn't able to fulfill its full potential, in my opinion. Next, oh my god, this is an old-ass manga. This is actually one of my first reviews I've ever done on this channel. Is his phone staying on the damn tripod? This is one of the first reviews I've ever done on this channel, and it's Ride Your Wave. Only the OGs know. Only the OGs know. This is one of the first videos I've ever done on my channel, and I did not really like this one. It's good. Like, I think the romance is good. I think the themes are good. It is just way too short. Like, and when I say like way too short, I don't mean like, oh, this volume didn't have like enough stuff in it. No, the volume did. This is the entire story. This length right here, that's the entire story. All of this is bonus content. This is bonus stuff. So it is just way too short to be like called an even actual manga. Like, even though like you could like look at like actual books, like one of my favorite stories ever is I Have No Mouth, I Must Scream, or whatever it's called. I fucking love that short story. It's like 8 pages, but like in books you can develop stuff a lot like quicker in a shorter span of like page length. This is half the book. This is legit half the volume. That's the entire thing. And there's just some stuff that doesn't work. It's just kind of cliche. And I mean, I overall enjoyed it. Like, after this, I enjoyed most of these. Actually, I enjoyed, like, all of these after this one. This one, I don't know, just didn't really connect with me. Next, after that one, I want to go through these quick, lightning fast, but we're not because I have, like, 50 of these. By the way, there's 48 of these, if you didn't know. One of these is an art book, by the way. I included an art book in here and then 2 comics because I was like, hey, fucking why not? I have the Tatsuki Fujimoto Before Chainsaw Man. I have this one, and then I have the second one. I just included them as like the same series or whatever. There's just a bunch of short stories by the author of Chainsaw Man and Fire Punch. I thought all the short stories were pretty decent. There's some I definitely liked more than others. I mean, just looking here, I didn't really like the chicken alien story. I thought the story about the guy catching the bullet was pretty good. And then the story about the guy like trying to confess to his crush when he's like getting robbed or whatever, and he's like getting abducted by aliens, but he's still trying to confess. That was a cute little story. And then the one like where like there's a vampire, and then like the guy, and then the vampire, or like there's a girl who's like a murderer, and then the guy's a vampire. I thought that one was also pretty cute. I think just Tatsuki Fujimoto works better in longer stories. I don't feel like his feelings get across very well in like these shorter spans, and I definitely think you can see that as well in like his one shots, like Look Back and Goodbye Eri. They're great one-shots, and I love Goodbye Eri, but I do think that, like, he works better in longer form, even if I like Goodbye Eri. Spoiler alert, I think Goodbye Eri is his best work, by far. So, yeah. Spoiler alert. All right, next I got a manga I didn't talk about very much in this channel at all, because there's nothing really to say. It is Crazy Food Truck. This is kind of just post-apocalyptic food wars. It's good. So a lot of the characters are kind of boring. I really only think the 2 main characters are somewhat interesting. I really like their dynamic, and I think their character designs are sick, but this manga is just porn. Like, it's actually just porn. I wanted this to be cooler. I wanted this to be more, like, action-packed, more heavy, more dramatic, and by a degree it is, and that's mainly why it's above a lot of these other series, or at least, you know, the series I've been talking about, but like, there's just too much of it, and I just didn't really care for it. Next, by the way, these are in ranking order. I should have probably mentioned that. So the first thing I mentioned was the worst thing, and the last series I talk about in this video is the best thing. So I'm just saying it now. These are in ranking order. So in next place, I don't know what place we're in, but the next one is Doubt. I actually got a comment about this manga. I made a review. Well, I didn't make a review, but in my reading log, when I read this, I was like, I think this manga is just kind of boring. It kind of just does, like, it rehashes all the same, like, character arcs that other horror manga or, like, other horror series have. Like there's nothing, like, different with it. Oh, excuse me. And then I heard a comment that was basically, like, Doubt was kind of, like, the first big horror manga, and it was kind of like what set the precedent for a lot of other horror manga, which is understandable. But like, I'm not a new reader, but like, if I'm a reader who doesn't know anything about Doubt, which I was, it's like, okay, but like, that doesn't change my experience with it. That changes my knowledge about it. You know, like, that's pretty cool. It was the first one I ever do, and I understand why. It doesn't change like the experience I had with the manga. I'm gonna get into like a little bit of I'm going to take a little sidebar here. It's the same reason I don't want to get into Dragon Ball. I think I'm going to love Dragon Ball. I think it's probably going to be great, but every single time I try to hear someone defend about Dragon Ball, it's either, oh, it started everything. It started the shonen genre, which first off, it's not a genre, it's a demographic, but the battle shonen genre, whatever, or the battle genre. It started the battle genre. It started the action adventure genre. Okay, but like, how is that going to change my experience with the manga? It does not. So, like, why should I read it? It's like the grandfather of manga. You're not selling me on the manga. Whatever. Recess over. Sidebar over. Doubt. I thought was pretty good. I really, really like the horror. I think the horror is great, and I think the mystery is pretty decent as well. Characters, could not care less about it. They were so boring. They had like these such basic arcs. There was this one girl in a wheelchair who like they tried to make us sympathize for the entire fucking manga, and I just didn't care. I just didn't care. The twist is very good though. I will admit the twist is pretty good. But oh my goodness, did I just like I was like, it was like I was tone deaf listening to music. Like it just went one ear and out the other. My brain wasn't even processing this stuff. I no care for it at all. Alright, next is a manga that I think counts. I mean, I've included one-shots. It's the Sanji side story or whatever. I was debating putting the Demon Slayer side story, like the water and fire side story, whatever. But I've kind of just included that with Demon Slayer itself, so I just didn't decide to put it on this list. The Sanji story, I think is pretty good. I mean, this is Sanji. He's cool. He's badass. There's some great stories here. The art is very good, but it's just Food Wars. If you want, like, if you like this idea, just go read Food Wars. Food Wars is just, like, a lot better made, a lot better thought out, a lot better produced than this story. It's a fun little story to read if you like One Piece, but, you know, it's not gonna, I don't even know. It's not gonna do it, okay? It's not, okay? It's not. Can you tell I'm very tired? It's like 10 o'clock right now at night. It's like very late. I just got home from work and I was like, I gotta make a video for Wednesday. And so I'm here doing this. It's not like I'm not having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Kingdom of the Gods, fun. I actually did a small review on this. This is actually, I've done this little shorts series where YouTube Shorts, I just review a random manga every week. And then I did Kingdom of the Gods first because I just did a random number generator, and then I got Kingdom of the Gods. It's pretty good. I mean, like it's fine. The art is incredible. Like, if you go look at the art, I mean, if I can find like a specific panel, but I mean, even though if you can't find a specific panel, just like looking at the art, it just looks like incredible. Like, look at that art, bro. It looks so good. And the characters I thought were very endearing. Like, I thought like the character relationships were very endearing. I really liked the first story. Second story, not so much, but also kind of enjoyed that. But yeah, again, this one just runs with pacing issues as well as it's way too short. Like, there's two main stories in here, and both stories just kind of feel unnecessary. Even though that is literally the entirety of the Kingdom of the Gods, they legit just feel unnecessary in their own story. Like, it legit feels like when I'm reading this, like, why am I could be doing something else with my time. This one, it's just not, doesn't matter to me. After that, I have a manga that I've shit on a lot, and this one I actually really enjoy. People have thought that, like, I hate this manga. I don't. First off, it's Demon Slayer. But people think I hate Demon Slayer. I do not hate Demon Slayer. It's just that I just have more negative things to say than I do positive. No, that's not true. I have more positive things. Let me just get into anytime I talk about Demon Slayer, it's always negative. Let me just get into the positives. Here are my positives. One, I think the villains are incredible. I think the villains are really good in Demon Slayer. Like, I really, really like the villains. Even though, like, a lot of other, like, action shonen manga also do villains very well, in my opinion, Demon Slayer was one of those where I think, the villains feel, like, menacing and, like, they feel unbeatable and, like, unstoppable. Like, when you see a demon, even, like, especially at the beginning of the manga, even at, like, a low-level demon, it's still, like, a bit scary because the author, like, built up this image of, like, humans being, like, almost like paper mache, where they can just be ripped, torn, dismembered at, like, any second. So it's just kind of a bit terrifying to, like, think of you know, like just like seeing a demon, especially when we get into like the upper moons and stuff, they feel powerful. They feel like they're a threat to the main characters. Even when we have like these big like Hashira or whatever, and I do think like this starts to lose its touch when we get to like the Infinity Castle arc, and then also the Swordsmith Village arc. Because those arcs, it kind of just feels like the demons just lose. Like, it doesn't even feel like the demons are menacing anymore. But from, like, I don't even know, Mugen Train or, like, the Entertainment District to the beginning of the manga, the demons feel menacing as shit. Also, I'd like to say, I think the pacing is great in this manga. I think the pacing is incredible. I flew through this manga so quick. Like, I remember reading, like, 6 to 7 volumes just because of how good this pacing was. Like, I really, really like the pacing. I also think the art style is very charming. Now, the art itself isn't good. Like, it is, like, so not flowy at all. There's nothing that leads into a next panel. It legit feels like I am reading a slideshow. Like, it like feels like it's just going from slide to slide to slide. There's no fluidity. There's no direction. There's nothing. If you look at a manga like Blue Lock or Dandadan, they'll have the characters like popping out of the panel to like advert your eyes to another panel, to another speech bubble, and that speech bubble will lead to another speech bubble, which leads to another panel, and then that panel will lead to the next page. So it is like a very interesting process that happens with like those two manga, and I think they're like one of the best at it. Demon Slayer literally does the opposite of that. As well, I just didn't really enjoy some of the characters. I think character arcs are either incredibly rushed or like incredibly slow. Like the pacing for character arcs are just really, really bad. Like even though Zenitsu is one of my favorite characters in this manga, his arc is like atrocious. Like it doesn't feel earned at all. For like the entire manga, he's an upset crybaby, and then at the literal last second, just because, spoiler alert, I'm not gonna actually spoil it, but something happens and he just becomes like fucking normal ass person and doesn't cry and bitch anymore. That feels so unearned. There's no like self-discovery. There's no like I need to change. I mean, there is like when he's facing the other demon, I forgot, the spider demon or whatever, he's facing his spider demon. He's like, and that's why I like Zenitsu. But other than that, it is like just really, really shit. Like it's just really bad. But I do like Demon Slayer like overall. I think the power system's great. I think the pacing is great. I think what else? The art style is great. I really, really do enjoy it. There's just more negative things to say. I'm sorry. There just is. All right, we need to go through this quick because we're at 17 minutes and we're not even done with the first stack. So, Dissolving Classroom, not going to get into this too much. It is the second and only Junji Ito work that I've read, and I thought it was pretty good. I think the horror is great, and I think the characters are bad, just like the other Junji Ito work that I've read, and it's going to be up here soon. I just think the horror in that is a lot better. Next, I have Look Back, Volume 1, but the only volume. A movie actually came out of this recently. The movie was very, very good. It was a great adaptation. If you are thinking about reading the manga or the movie, go read the movie. I think it's a bit quicker. I think it adapts it incredibly well. Like, it is really, really good. Look Back, though, it's very good. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's not good at all. It is really, really good. I just think the ending is a bit stupid. Like, at the beginning of me learning the ending, I thought the ending didn't make any sense, and then someone told me that the ending was actually like a split timeline, and that made it even worse because we're in the realm of realistic and like a reality. Like we're in the realm of reality, and then you just want to create a split timeline out of nowhere. That's stupid. And I just kind of have my own headcanon that the ending is just a what if, which in my opinion is a lot better. But I can't take back the ending was pretty bad. I just can't. I can't look past that. All right, next. I know that technically the entire manga isn't finished, but the first part is, and I read the first part. It's JoJo's. I think this is pretty good. I really enjoyed the characters. I think the characters are great. I think the art is really good. It's not very flowy, but the detail is great. I also think it's charm and wackiness and just like how like, oh my god, what's the word? Campy it is just super endearing and super fun. Like I love how like to get back at Dio, he like fights him in a boxing contest or whatever, and like Dio like burns his dog in a furnace, And then Dio, he does the most unspeakable act, which is like take his girlfriend's first kiss or something. It is just really, really fun. It just has like this sort of quirky energy that you can't really find in other manga that JoJo's does just specifically very well. Power system, shit. Like, the power system is so boring. It's just punches and kicks. Like, there's nothing special to it. Also, I just don't care. There's a lot of stuff here that I don't care about. I want stands. I want this. I want that. And the pacing is pretty god-awful. Though I do like the ending to this first part. All right. Next, I have Drip Drip by Haru Itagaki, the same author of Beastars. I would really wish if more of her manga was printed in English, but I don't think we're ever going to get it because most of her manga are about, like, I don't know, like Santa fucking people or a ghost cucking or a wife cucking her husband with a ghost or some shit. I've only heard those two other manga and I don't understand them at all. I really wish they were printed in English because I want to read them, but I just don't understand what the plot of those two are. I genuinely just don't. Drip Drip, incredible read, great one shot. I really enjoyed it. There's nothing wrong with it on paper. There was nothing I had wrong with it. There's other series that did stuff better. And they were longer. Like this next one, which is Food Wars. Food Wars was very good. I basically said my piece on Food Wars for like most of time. It is incredible. The characters are really, really good. I actually really enjoy them. And I think the plot is okay. And I think the pacing is okay. But I don't know. I just really like it. It's very hype. It's just very endearing. I really like Soma as a protagonist. The art definitely evolves over time. And I do think the later arcs are so much better. Like, it only goes up. If you like the starting point of Food Wars, it only goes up. So, yeah, you'll love it. After that, oh my god, I gotta reach so low. After that, we have, this is not a comic, it's technically a manga, but it's SpiderMan Fake Red. Love this. Just an enjoyable Spider-Man manga. If you like Spider-Man, you're gonna enjoy this too. Great story about like what it means to be a hero or whatever. You know, your classic superhero stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought it was endearing. I thought it was cute. It was good. All right. Next, I have, all of you are probably manga fans, but my comic fans, if you guys are watching this, will probably hate me for this on why I put it so low. But it's All-Star Superman. I did not enjoy this as much as everyone else did. If you ask, like, your basic comic fan that reads comics, this is the best Superman story out there of all time. And maybe I just got to reread it, but I think, oh, excuse me. I think, like, the biggest issue with this, the pacing is god-awful. There's so much stuff I loved in this. I love Superman, like, gripping with the fact that he's gonna die and, like, what he wants to do with his remaining time and how he decides instead of, like, spending time with his family or whatever, he does it to, like, create a new Superman and to help out the city as much as he can. And he helps out people with the time he has left, showing how, like, the kindness in his heart and just that symbol of hope, and that even if he, like, the Superman is gone, that symbol of hope will last forever. I love that so goddamn much, but it is told in the worst way possible. The pacing is so shit, bro. It was so hard to get through this. When they went on the fucking Bizarro planet and they had to fucking, oh my goodness, I couldn't take it. I actually couldn't take it. Like, it was so difficult to get through. But I still think All-Star Superman is very, very good. I really enjoyed it. All right, next is kind of a cheat. Is the art, the Haikyuu art book. Honestly, I would rather reread this than any other manga that I talked about. Food Wars, Crazy Food Truck Driver. Well, it's just called Crazy Food Truck. Demon Slayer, JoJo's, Blackard. I wouldn't want to continue that one anyway. Look Back, Drip Drip. I would rather continue this. There are some times where I will just go through this and I will just look at some of the reads, and the art is just fucking beautiful, and I love the characters. Kind of a spoiler alert. That's what at number one is this one, but buddy, it's just good. It's actually just good. I don't know what to tell you. Next I have my second and only other Junji Ito work, which is Uzumaki. Hot take, I don't think Junji Ito makes that good a manga. I think the horror is fucking incredible. I think they're amazing. I get spooked out every time. It is great. I love the horror. And I think the characters are always and will always be shit. I think the characters are so boring. I think they're so, like, they're just unbearable. Like, the main character in this manga is so unbearable. Leave the fucking town. I get it. The spirals are supposed to mean addiction, and I get it. They can't leave the town because of the spirals are like, they're attracted to it, and I get it. But as soon, if I'm in the town, I don't care how addicted I am to that shit. As soon as I start seeing fucking whirlpools in the water, that's the first page, by the way. It's like the first 2-3 pages. As soon as I see whirlpools in the fucking water, I'm leaving. I'm leaving so quickly. I'm leaving, bro. I don't want that. Why are there whirlpools in the water? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And if you look at the whirlpools, they look like paper. What? That does not make any fucking sense. And then like, no, there's a lot more whirlpools in the water. That's kind of weird. Let's just go to class now. One of their students literally turns into a fucking slug. Leave the town. Go anywhere else but Uzumaki Land. What are you doing? Yeah, it's Uzumaki. Alright. Next I have The Golden Sheep. This one was pretty good. I think it's a very mature series. I think it's really, really good. I really like the characters. Pacing is okay. And honestly, I just think the plot doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, it is your very typical, like, oh, high school friends going to adult life, things are a lot different. A lot of people, get these very dark and depressing emotions, after high school, after, they meet up and stuff. But it's a very endearing series, and I really enjoyed it. I just think it definitely could have been a bit longer. And I don't know. I just liked a lot of other stuff that came out. All right, next, I have One Piece Ace Side Story. It's just classic One Piece. It's just good. It's just good to see Ace. I mean, I know, like, we get info on these other, like, side characters, like the fucking Spade, or the other guy he, like, lived with or whatever, on an island. I know, like, this came out after the manga. I wish we got to see him in the actual manga. I think that would have been pretty cool if, like, I don't know if this was the truth, but if, like, the artist of this, which is Boichi, or like the writer of this, was like, hey, that little background character, I want to put him in the story and make him more important. I thought that would be pretty cool, but whatever, it's pretty good. Well, by the way, I'm like slamming these on the ground to make a big pile. This is the thumbnail you're seeing. I'm literally creating the thumbnail as this video is happening. I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to post the video. It's pretty cool. By the way, my voice is actually gone, and we're not even halfway done, so buckle in. School Frozen in Time. This is one of my first manga I've ever read. I made a review about this like super, super early into my YouTube career. I mean, this is barely a career, but YouTube, whatever, hobby. And I thought I really liked this. Ending didn't really make any sense, but everything else I really, 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 really enjoyed. And I'm going to start going through these a lot quicker. The Breaker, incredible read. It's actually a manhwa. A lot of people think it's a manga. It's actually a manhwa, even though it is in black and white. It is so endearing, so fun. Like, the main characters are so cool. Like, at the beginning of this, I didn't really care for it, but there's a certain scene that happens where the main character, like, accidentally kills a bunch of people, and that's when shit starts to take a turn and starts to get so much better and so much cooler and so much more fun. Like the main like mentor guy, he gets so many cool fights. It's so badass. The art is incredible. Like, read The Breaker if you want just a good action like kung fu manga. You're gonna love it. All right. Next, I have Girls Last Tour. I actually didn't really enjoy the first, like, volume and 2. I didn't really enjoy it very much. And I kept reading, and it did feel like the author, like, found her footing, found their footing, like, for the manga. Like, I definitely think, and then we started, like, getting, like, volume 3, volume 4, volume 5. We started getting a lot of these, like, life lessons, a lot of these, like, thought-provoking ideas, but, like, what it means to be human, because there's a lot of these robots and stuff. And it is really, really cool, and the ending, like, broke me. Like, the ending was so fucking good. Genuinely, read this just to get to the ending. Like, so good. See, I'm trying not to spoil my manga as much, but it is kind of difficult. Wow. We're not even halfway done. Some of these manga are incredible reads. Like, at this point, after, like, I don't even know, the Haikyuu art book, honestly, at that point, I feel like all of these are, like, must-reads. Like, these are so good. It's Hiding Closer. Underrated ass manga. Same author of Alison Borderlands and Zom 100. Same author. And this is so good. It's very, very basic. It's very cliche at the beginning. But the ending, I think, is fantastic. And I actually do kind of enjoy the stuff at the beginning. I think it has a great vibe to it. It kind of reminds me of Soul Eater. Just like a little bit different, like tweaked a little bit differently. And I think the ending character arcs are, incredible. It's so good. And yeah, just really, 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 really good. It is. All right, next we have The Flowers of Evil Omnibus 1. I wonder if there's singles to this. I don't think there are, but pick this up. Shuzo Shimi, one of my favorite authors. Oh, I could have finished Blood on the Tracks before I made this video. Blood on the Tracks is not in this video. Flowers of Evil, incredible, creepy as shit. Ending I thought was pretty good. I don't know. The ending was really good, but like, I don't know. I just wish it was like executed a bit differently, if anything. But yeah, Flowers of Evil is an incredible read. It is disgusting. It is horrific, but it is so good, and it is creepily realistic. Like, it is very, very good. All right. Next, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I'm surprised it's this high. When I was making this list, well, first off, I already have everything ranked before I even had to make the list. But when I was like deciding what should go where, I was like, man, I really am high on this. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, thinking back, like, I really did. I think the ending is, like, pretty drawn out. Like, I think there's a certain part where you can just kind of end it, and it would have been good. Like, we get to the scene where he's like, my name is this, and it means where the Sakura blooms, or whatever. And it's really, really good. Like, that's very hard-hitting. And then her as dead, like, goes on this, like, giant-ass monologue, and I just start to, like, stop caring. And then the ending where, like, those two, like, become friends or whatever because of her death is, like, incredible. Like, it's, like, such good writing, but the ending, I think, could have been executed a lot better. Maybe the movie does, like, a lot better in terms of the ending. All right, next I have a manga that is, well, actually a comic that is very fucked up. I don't know why. This is my favorite comic that I've read out of all the comics I've read, which is 2. It's Batman Court of Owls. I've read a Batman and Superman one. That's pretty cool. Batman, the Court of Owls. I read this. I thought it was incredible. I really like the story, like the journey that Batman goes on. The art is fantastic. I love the writing. I love the ending. I think, if anything, I wish the ending was more like widely scale. We get like these villains or whatever, and they fight Batman, but it's really only in like the manor. I wish we got to see like, I don't even know, like Nightwing or whatever, or Batgirl or Robin or whatever, fighting these things like out on the street, because it's like told to us that it's like this huge outbreak and like it can't be stopped. I wish it actually felt like that, where it's like these things like legit like cannot be stopped. I basically just repeated myself, but you know what I mean, like. Legit, whatever you do, like, it is all writing on this one tiny little detail that we need to complete, and if we don't complete it, we're fucked, and there's no stopping this. I really wish it was like that, but sadly, it's not. All right, next I have a manga that I recently read last month. It is Your Name. This got pretty high. I do like that I'm reading more manga and stuff, and they are, like, starting to get higher and higher on my list, but yeah, I think this is, like, the newest that was, like, pretty high. It is Your Name. The ending is fan-fucking-tastic. It is like I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, but without the ending problem. So basically perfect. I mean, I only have like 8, not in this list, but out of like my entire manga collection, I only have like 8 or so manga that I have a 10 out of 10. This will probably be an 8 out of 10, but it's a high 8. And 8 out of 10s are amazing in my opinion. So, you know, like 8 out of 10s are still like incredible. All right, next I have Homunculus. Volume 1/2. Very good manga. It is disgusting. It is horrific. The idea is incredible. The character writing is incredible. It has some incredible dialogue. And I think the ending is one of the most beautiful endings I've ever read. It is such a weird and like psychedelic read. Genuinely incredible. Low-key reminds me of, I don't even know. It doesn't remind me of anything because of how good it is. Like, really, really good. Read it. I really enjoyed it. You'll probably really enjoy it. I don't know why I'm treating this like a recommendation video. It's not. It's a me going, one of my favorite manga ever, whatever video. This is not a recommendation video, but I'm acting like it is. But go read it. So, yeah. Maybe y'all, by like the sound of the book hitting the floor, can like predict what the thumbnail is going to be, even though you already saw the thumbnail. Okay. Death Note, Volume 1. Well, the entire manga. Hot take. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to just move on, because we got some other manga to get to. And there's other stuff I want to talk about with those manga. I don't think Nier and Mello were that bad, bro. I actually really liked those characters. I actually really enjoyed it. I do like that we got like a lot of weaknesses with Light. I honestly, one of my biggest problems with the beginning of the story is just how like Mary Sue kind of, they made Light, where like he legit cannot make any mistakes, and the only mistakes he can make are part of his ego. But like intelligence-wise, he legit cannot make a mistake. Like if he had no ego, his intelligence, he could not make a single mistake ever, not one time. And I do like we are starting to get like his weaknesses when it comes to intelligence. Because in the real world, I mean, not that manga is realistic, not that this manga is realistic anyway, because it's about a fucking guy with a notebook that you write their names and they die. But in the real world, like even the smartest people to have ever existed, they still make mistakes, they still make hiccups, they still have weaknesses. Like you can't just be like, that guy is 200 plus IQ, so he must know what I'm thinking right now or whatever. You know, like it doesn't really make any sense. That was kind of my biggest issue. I mean, it's barely an issue, it's basically a nitpick, but that was my biggest issue at the beginning of the manga. And then after, it didn't happen. But I do think the ending is a bit ridiculous. Like, the fact that the guy had to fucking write like the entirety of the notebook or whatever and then do that should not make any sense. But the ending speech with Light and then the other guy and then oh my god, it was so good. It definitely is an incredible read. Alright, next I'm also going to go through this one quick. Happiness, Shuzoshimi manga. Thought it was better than Flowers of Evil, and yeah, in my opinion, it's really connected to the characters. I think the plot's great, and I really liked it. Wow, you see how quick that is? Let's try to do this with this next one. I'm not. It's Kaguya-sama Love is War, the entire manga. I thought this was honestly going to be higher. When I was making this list, I thought it was going to be higher, but looking back, I did not enjoy this manga as much as I thought I did. And really it comes down to the beginning and the ending. I think the beginning, incredibly boring. I don't think it introduces characters very well. It kind of just jumps straight into the plot, and there's no breathing room. There's no, like, barely an exhibition, and it's just kind of boring. And then the ending is just, like, so, I don't even know. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like if in One Piece, the characters just, like, the characters just, like, went to school. Like, that's kind of, like, what the ending felt like. It legit is the characters go on a fucking spy mission. Brother, you're in high school. I get it. I get it that we have to have done this since the beginning of the manga, because it's been foreshadowed that this has to have happened. You are in high school. Why do you have a helicopter? Why do you have a helicopter? Why are we going on a spy mission? We're not. They're billionaires. Call the police. Just call the police. What are we doing? What are we actually doing? It is the most infuriating thing I've ever fucking read in my entire life. I was so bored. I was just so confused. This is my face while reading it. That was my face while reading it. I did not enjoy the ending. I enjoyed the manga. The manga is incredible. Like, from chapter fucking, I don't know, 8 to 300 or whatever the manga went to. I don't even know. From those set of chapters, I fucking love the manga. Oh my goodness. Every single chapter was a blast. It was a roller coaster. I love the characters. The character arcs are so well written. The characters are so dynamic. I love that the chemistry is so good. The comedy is incredible. I laughed every time. And the romance is top tier. But goddamn were those endings and beginnings just, like, I don't want to say utter trash, but in my opinion, utter trash. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. And we really got to get to, because I got to go to bed. I'm tired. Planet Test. Great manga by the same author of Vinland Saga. Really, really good. Story about life and, like, what meaning of life and shit. It's honestly really, really cute and adorable. Like, it is, like, top tier. life. If you're depressed, well, go see like a therapist. But then go read Planet Test, because it is very good. Alright, after that I have Fire Punch. Fire Punch, not my favorite Tatsuki Fujimoto work, because Goodbye Area is coming up, but I really enjoyed this. This is like top tier Tatsuki Fujimoto. It is at the same, I think it is like the perfect blend of like weird, but also incredible writing. I think the time I fell in love with this manga is when, I think it's volume 2 or volume 1. Sun, I think his name is. Sun gets captured, and he's like talking about the fire god, and he's like in this room, this very like pitch dark room, and they're all chained up because they're used for like their electricity powers. Like they're like processed for it. They're like they're human slaves basically. Kind of like they're just produce. They're just produce, but they're humans. And they're all like skin and bones, and they haven't heard a single word of all time. And he's talking about this fire god, and everyone's like, oh, shut up. He's going to stop talking in a couple weeks when they fucking rip out his tongue or whatever. Like, oh, shut up. And then he doesn't shut up, and everyone else is quiet. And he keeps talking about Agni, the fire god. And when he goes, and he stops, and he goes, hey, can you talk about him more? Can you tell us more? Like, they're clinging on to the tiniest bit of hope that this guy is real and that this guy will help us. That was so fucking incredible. I love that. I love that scene, and ever since, this entire manga has just been beautiful. I've loved it. And the ending was incredible too. And that's it. Like, we're getting to points where, you know, it's not like a Kaguya-sama Love is War where fucking love the entirety of it, had a couple issues that I can say. We're getting to points where I like didn't have any issues, except for one manga. We're going to get to it. I'm going to talk a lot about this one manga. Not this one, but we're going to get to it, and then I'm going to just quickly go through these, because I think I've talked about them a lot. Blue Giant, wish the sequel came out, hasn't yet. Incredible read, left on a cliffhanger. I was so sad. That's the details, brother. That's the details, a silent voice. I actually kind of do want to get those like big deluxe editions. I think it would be pretty cool to add into my collection. But incredible read. This is like Your Name and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, but like actually has like perfect pacing. So it kind of like completed the trifecta of like what I thought was good or whatever. Yeah, silent voice, incredible read. Love the main character, great arc. Love the deaf chick, great arc. So, listen, man, when you've read this many manga, I don't know if I can tell you a single fucking person in this manga. There's the dude with the broccoli hair, there's the dude with the thick eyebrows, there's the main character, there's the deaf girl, and then there's the two other girls that I fucking hate. The two other bitches. I fucking hate their asses. I hate them so much. And that's probably my biggest issue with this manga, is they have so many unnecessary backstories. The thick eyebrow guy, we're told from like the beginning of when we met him, he was bullied. Okay, he's bullied. I don't need to see a backstory on how he's bullied. Just tell me he's bullied. Okay, he's bullied. We get it. We get why he does these actions. We get why he reacts this way to certain stuff. Okay, we get it. We understand. Okay, he was bullied. You don't need to show me. You just don't. I understand. He's bullied. I can see why. He's ugly. I can see why he was bullied. I can see why. Okay, so we're chilling. All right, you don't need to show me that backstory. We're fine. Holy shit, maybe I shouldn't be yelling as much. This is probably a bad idea. Gantz, definitely big problems in the beginning. There's a lot of stuff that is very distasteful. I don't really care that much though. I mean, I've read a lot of like old books. I've read a lot of old manga. This stuff just happens when like there's like casual racism or casual sexism or whatever. That's just the time. What do you want me to say? That was just like the time period. And like especially in Japan. In 2025, you still go to Japan. If you're black, people are going to look at you like it just happens. They don't know any better. It's just like fucking whatever. Like, it's like you can't escape it. It just fucking happens. And it is like tough to get through. But honestly, I can just kind of skim over it. It's definitely better if it's a manga than like an anime or like a show or something or live action. Because you can't get through it. Imagine being in the movie theaters with that one scene where like the girl was like, can I be your pet or whatever? And then he like sleeps with her and like grabs her titty. Like, imagine being in the movie theater with that. Oh my goodness, I would walk out so quick. Good thing I was reading the manga. I can just flip to the next page. Okay. Here's the manga I wanted to talk about. It's Goodnight Poon Poon. Now you might be wondering, we have maybe 6 or 7 manga left. You might be wondering, why is this so low? Goodnight Poon Poon would be my number one. I agree. All the stuff with Poon Poon Fantastic. Fucking loved it. Incredible. Whatever. So good. Everyone knows this. Everyone who's read Goodnight Poon Poon, they know this, they agree, whatever. Every single fucking time the author brought up the Pegasus shit, I was so bored. I was bored out of my goddamn brain. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. Like, okay, I understand, but there's like metaphors and stuff, and it's like important for the characters, and there's imagery, and it helps with the side plots. Give me a fucking break. Okay, fine. Let's just say that this weird ass imagery, first off, I'm not Japanese. There's a bunch of Japanese imagery in this. I don't understand it, and that's my own personal opinion, but whatever. Let's just say this imagery actually fucking matters to the plot of the story. Let's just assume that. You can do it in any other way. You can execute it in literally any other way than making every single character of this plot unlikable as shit. There's literally a part where the fucking guy breaks into a girl's house and he's like, good vibrations. Shut the fuck up. Oh my goodness, bro. I was so bored. And I get it. There was 2 characters. The story needed to be paid off. But oh my God. There's actually a scene. I kid you not. There's actually a scene where the guy's on TV and we see it as if we're watching the TV. So the panel is just the same panel over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's just different speech bubbles. He's saying the same shit. He's saying, yo, when are we gonna reach the red light and hit the black dots? And I see all the black dots and the good vibrations. He's saying the same shit over and over and over again. It is the most frustrating thing, and then his ending, the guy's ending, does not pay off anything. It doesn't do anything to account for the story. The main characters, Poon does not interact with any of these guys for the entire story. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I know in interviews he was like, oh, well, like the Poon stuff was like my take on a romance, and then the Pegasus stuff was my take on a shonen. This series is why I say reinventing the wheel does not make it good, because he reinvented the wheel, and it was the most boring shit I have ever read. But, saying all that, I did put it this high, and the rest of the manga was fantastic. So that should really tell you how good the rest of the manga was. I did not care for the Pegasus stuff, but I did care for the rest of the manga, and it's fucking incredible. It really is. We're 15 minutes in. I'm just gonna speed through these. Beastars, incredible world building, best I don't even know, race allegory, whatever that I've ever read. It's also like a sex allegory, not a sex, but like a gender allegory as well. But it's also like an immigrant, or what's the word for I guess immigration, like an immigration allegory as well. It is so well written. It is so well produced. It is so well thought out. There's just so many parts of this manga that just feel so real and connected to our society. And whenever I try to have a talk with someone about this manga and whether carnivores should be in society or not or whatever, it always feels like we're talking politics, and it's very, very fun. All right, next, I have Monster. This one does not have the Goodnight Poon Poon problem of being incredible but having something really shit about it. This one, straight to the point, very solid. Though, there are a lot of side stories in this. Not side stories, but other stories where a lot of other characters are introduced, and I just couldn't keep track of them all. And honestly, there's just some points I thought were unnecessary. This manga definitely could have been shortened down a little bit. But yeah, Monster, basically incredible. It's just, well, not even basically, it is. It just is super, super good. Super well made. I'm so tired. I'm just going to leave this manga on the floor. I'm going to take the picture of the thing. I'm going to just leave it on the floor overnight. I'm going to clean it up. Because I'm going to film tomorrow for Saturday and then the next Monday. I'm just going to, I don't even care. I'm just going to leave it on the floor. My voice is dead. Goodbye, Eri. Here is where Goodbye, Eri is. It's my favorite Tatsuki Fujimoto work. It's so good. I don't know why. This manga just connected to me in so many different ways. There's so many plot twists, so many revelations. The ending is fantastic. It blew me It didn't blow me. It like blew my mind. That's what I was looking for. It was a different experience. It was like, it legit. I say this about a lot of manga. Well, not really, but I say this about a couple manga. It legit feels like the author, and this is with every manga too, but it feels like the author just put 100% of his thoughts, feelings, words, anything he could think of into a single story and printed it on paper for us to read. And I fucking love it. And I really wish this got a movie instead of Look Back. I think it will get a movie anyway, because I think the Look Back movie did well. I really hope this gets like a really, really good adaptation, because I think it'll like get the love it deserves. And I think it's the best Tatsu Fujimoto. All right, here's an underrated manga. It's actually a manhwa, but it is very underrated, and it is Grass. I haven't heard like anybody talk about this, and it is fucking incredible. It's like this I don't know if it's autobiographical. I don't know what it's called. Biographical, autobiographical. I don't even know. I'm gonna just read. I think these capture it very well. I'm gonna just read like the two like reviews about it. So here's the review of the New York Times best book of 2019. So this is literally the best book of 2019. Just to say, unflinching, Gendry Kim can capture Lee's gap tooth rockiness as a girl on one page, and on the next plunge us fully into nightmare. I've never known happiness from the moment I came out of my mother's womb, Lee says. By the end of this searching book, those words read more as an understatement than exaggeration. Here's the next room of The Globe and Mail, the next review. The term comfort woman is controversial, distorting, and inadequate. A euphemism that misrepresents the sexual slavery endured by Korean girls and women during the Second World War at the hands of the Japanese military. Grass tells the story of one of these system survivors, revealing the horrific realities that the term comfort woman occludes. I kind of ruined it with fucking up the last word. Whatever. This manga is so good. I was starstruck after I read it. It's one of those manga where it's so good, you have to go take a fucking walk after. I legit went to go take a fucking walk after I read this shit. It was, I legit remember reading it. Like page by page. It is stuck in my memory. All right. After that, I promise we're almost done. I promise. Slam Dunk. Everyone knows Slam Dunk. Everyone knows why it's good. It's like one of the best sports manga. Everyone says it's the best sports manga. In my opinion, it's not. But like, I definitely see why. Like, it is so good. All right, next. Alison Borderland. I've already said my piece about this. Just really, really good. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm tired. I don't have that energy to scream. I've already screamed enough with fucking Kaguya-sama Love is War, Goodnight Poon Poon, Demon Slayer, I don't even remember. Next I have The Horizon. If you want, okay, let's say you watched this video, you got to the grass part, you paused it, you were like, you know what? He's selling me on this, which I probably didn't, but he's selling me on this, I'm gonna go read Grass. You read Grass, you cry your fucking eyes out, and you're like, this is the saddest shit I've ever read. Or what you did before that is you got to the Goodnight Poon Poon part. Somehow I sold you on that, and you were like, I'm going to go read Goodnight Poon Poon. You cried your eyes out. Then you got to Grass. You cried your eyes out even more. And then you got to here, which is The Horizon, which I legit think you'll never recover. You'll never recover. I never recovered, so you won't. I'm projecting onto you. You're not going to recover. Actually, someone tweeted this. There was like out of context Twitter account, whatever. He like posts out of context manga photos. Posted one of The Horizon. I just tweeted go to manga. Someone asked, hey, what manga is this? It's The Horizon. And then I was like, maybe I shouldn't have given him the name to that. Maybe I shouldn't have given him the name to that. So I was like, oh, you won't read it. You won't recover. You won't. Like, actually, it's the saddest thing I've ever read. It is the only piece of media, in my opinion, that I've witnessed that actually portrays war correctly. Like, I know there's a lot of like a Full Metal Jacket or like other movies or whatever that are from the perspective of like the soldiers. This is, in my opinion, the greatest depiction of war, even like in a Schindler's List, but that one kind of depicts war. This is the best depiction of it, in my opinion. out of any piece of media that I've ever watched, read, experienced, whatever, this is the greatest wave it's ever been experienced. And it is the horizon. It is so bleak, so dark, so sad, and so good. And the ending is fantastic. The ending is incredible. All right, we have 2 left. Finally, if you're line April, which I'm not going to talk about much because it's your line April, cried my eyes out at the time. Honestly, I'm thinking about putting the horizon above it, but it's definitely going to be here. It is so good. I reread it, or I'm going to reread it, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And then finally, I think most of you know that this is my favorite manga of all time. I talk about it every fucking video. Kind of, I don't know, maybe. I talk about this in Blue Lock, but Blue Lock is in my top 10. It's number 10. It's number 1. This is Haikyuu. I'm rereading this. It's so good. And I'm tired. I'm genuinely tired. I'm tired. Well, hold on. Let me put this volume in like the middle. Yeah. Okay, that's ass. All right. If you made it to the end of the video, which you probably didn't, most likely, drop a isn't there a utensil emoji? Like a fork and a spoon emoji or something like that? Drop one of those emojis in there. I don't even care. Drop one of those emojis in there, the fork or the spoon emoji. Put those in the comment section. If you have any video ideas for me, just give them to me. I'm probably going to film tomorrow as well. I'm going to go through those videos. Also, I need to film that video about the hot takes because I need to react to your hot takes, which I will do in due time. Okay. That's it for me. Great video, honestly. I fucking love doing this video. I love doing these videos, man. I do really like, I am starting to get a little bit more like confident. I've always had confidence in my videos, but I'm starting to get like a little bit more like energetic and stuff, like actually being like the real me. I'm starting to like actually like get more energetic with the audience and stuff, and it's a lot more fun for me, and I'm assuming it's a lot more fun for you. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Bye.